All right, we're rolling.
Italy was definitely cool though. One thing that was very funny that when I learned traveling, especially internationally, because you have to present your passport, you have to go through customs and everything, is old people fucking suck, dude.
They can, yeah.
Well, because
it's a hit or a miss. They're either awesome or they suck.
well, it's all automated now. So I don't know when last time you went to Italy, did you have to go through a physical person through customs?
I don't remember.
So basically now to go international, at least how it was when I went to Italy, you go, you check your bag, you go through security like you normally would. Then you go through customs, but it's all automated. So what I mean by that is like you have your passport, you go up to basically what it's like those sliding doors where you would enter like a grocery store kind of, and it's like a little turnstile thing almost where almost like how it's on the subway. And you take your passport, you take your picture and you put it face down, the sliding doors register, it opens, then you step inside of that, it closes behind you, then there's another glass sliding door in front of you, and you look directly into a camera like that, and you have to stand in like a specific spot, and then it recognizes your face, runs facial recognition software, and then it loads, and then it opens, and then you just go. And then
That's insane.
Yeah, right? And then there's someone sitting there still, but there's way less people, and then you just give them your passport, and they'll ask you like, oh, where you, like, purpose of travel, and then just basically stamp it quick, but it's way faster now.
I waited in line for a really long time when I went there and went through customs.
So a lot of places are doing that because even when I went to Ireland last year, it was the same thing. But dude, same fucking problem. Picture your grandparents who haven't traveled in a while, they go up to that fucking thing. It's like they're looking at a spaceship. So they have no clue what's going on. They have their passport the wrong way. They don't know how to do it. So I was behind this guy coming home, and the line's fucking really building up because there's a shit ton of old people coming back, dude. And it was completely their fault. But he's like standing in front of me, and he's like waiting for someone to come help him. And I'm like, oh, you just take your passport, you put it down. And he was like, oh no, you gotta wait for someone. I'm like, no, you don't. You just take your passport, you put it right there. So I took his passport for him, placed it down, and it opened. He's like, oh wow, like I didn't know that was the thing. So a picture of that times fucking 100, and it just bottlenecks the line a shit ton. So it is good, whereas it should be way more efficient. But old people just have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
So it just makes the line 10 times longer.
Yeah, and you said the spaceship thing. It's like that kind of stuff with old people. It's like if you talk to me about outer space, right? You can explain like if you go through Jupiter's atmosphere, it takes off 2 years from your whatever the case may be, whatever the science thing is, and I hear it, but I don't register it. Like it's just past my realm.
Yeah.
That's how old people are with new things.
That's basically exactly what it was.
Kind of like a phone, you know? I don't think that old people can't use phones. It's just that they can't wrap their head around the fact that it's like a mini computer in your hand nowadays.
Yeah.
And they just refuse to, you know.
Yeah, it was something. And just them in general, I sound probably like an asshole right now.
No, they're a hit or a miss, man.
I'm going to be old one day, and like I'm going to be that dude who's probably fucking up because there's going to be something new that I don't know how to do, and someone's going to be saying the same thing about me that I'm saying about an old person right now. But I was just, at the end of it, we get on the plane, I'm like, holy fuck, old people just suck. Like, they just take long to do everything.
Yeah.
And
that's, like I said, they're children, essentially. You know?
More or less.
And it's a hit or a miss. They're either awesome or the worst, and that's just like with children. A kid is either awesome or the worst. There's like barely an in-between.
And if you really think about it, you kind of do revert back to a child when you're older, because when you're younger, you kind of learn how to walk, you're a little slow, you're not good balance, you're bad on your feet, you need someone to wipe your ass sometimes, you need diapers. And then when you're old, it's kind of the same thing. You definitely have more like mental acuity in terms of what you know and your experience, but sometimes you need diapers, you're light on your feet, you have shitty balance, you need help with things.
Can't
like,
hear. I know it's not, kids can hear, but.
Oh yeah, this is the other thing. Me and Kat is sitting in the airport in Italy waiting for our flight to board, and this old couple with their friend and another guy sit near us, and the first thing she says was, I have my hearing aids charged, so we should be good. And I'm just thinking, okay, That's funny because when you're our age, that you're just thinking, all right, what do I have? I have my phone charger, I have my shoes, like I have my AirPods,
Yep.
my everything's good, everything's charged technology, and she's just worrying about like her hearing aids.
Right.
I'm like, yo, our priorities are so different
Yeah.
right now. But she was just being such an old lady, like, oh, when do we start boarding? And her husband's like, we don't board till like 11:30. She's like, well, should we start moseying on over there? And he's like, no, they haven't even called group 1 yet. It's
Moseying on over is such an old. It's like saying the term rubbish
yeah.
or tonic.
She just didn't stop talking the moment she sat next to us, and me and Kat was sitting across from each other, and I was just texting her saying, holy shit, this lady sucks. Like, traveling her sounds nightmarish. And honestly, her husband, his body language showcases that she's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Because they were there, I think, for 2 weeks. I overheard their conversation, and traveling with that lady for 2 weeks, I'd probably want to fucking kill myself, if I'm going to be completely honest.
I remember when I went
and
to
he ain't fucking her.
right.
Not at that age, at least.
When I went to Italy, I went for 3 weeks, and I just thought that this was wild. That I remember going and I saw this like family. I think they were like a Russian family or something. They sounded like that, and I was there for 3 weeks. And then when I was going home, they were on the same flight as me going home.
Oh, really?
Too. Yeah, 3 weeks later. So that means we went at the same time for the same amount of days, and then just so happened to be on the same plane going back.
Same plane, same time?
Yeah, and then on the way there, I was in a 450 person plane. It was Emirates, which you should try flying Emirates.
I want to fly
sometime.
Emirates.
It's crazy.
Dude, a first class seat in Emirates is like 15 grand.
Right. Yep. And dude, I was the last seat in the back corner of that plane. 450 people.
Did they board from 2 spots though, in the middle and in the front?
No. No.
Jesus Christ.
But it took a long time to get off. But I just thought, this is pretty crazy that I'm in the back corner of where are the odds of that,
Yeah. If that plane crashed, hypothetically, you have a good chance of living, because I think a lot of people towards the back live.
Really?
Yeah. Or towards the wings. That's where the plane... Like, have you ever seen crash videos? The front people are just automatically dead. Mm-hmm. If you're in the middle near the wings, I guess it's like kind of stable. You have a better shot statistically of living.
I'd be so upset if I went out in a plane crash.
Yeah.
I've had so many dreams of being on a plane and things aren't going well up in the air.
Well, it's like everyone typically says, well, if you're in a car, there's way more car accidents. Well, yeah, but think of how many fender benders that you're finding. If a plane is in an accident, you're fucking 9 times out of 10 dying.
Yeah.
99 times out of 100
I was about to say 9.9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you're Travis Barker. He survived a plane crash. But, yeah, you're also 30,000 feet in the air.
You're going 500 miles an hour.
Yeah. It's just, I know that people say, like, oh, statistically, you're more likely to get into an accident on the way to the airport. It's like, I feel you, but also, if we go down, like, this is fucked.
Yeah. If I get in a car accident, I'm way more likely to live than if I get in a fucking plane crash.
Yeah, next time someone says that to me, that's what I'm going to say. Well, you're way more likely to live in a car crash than...
Yeah. Just think about the statement you just said and reflect on it for a minute and see if it still sounds smart when you reflect on that statement. That's what you should say to them.
Do you have any, like, embarrassing moments that, like, you think about every now and then? Just like, damn, that was really embarrassing.
In general?
Yeah, just anything in life.
Yeah. Probably a fuck ton.
Well, what's one of them?
In terms of like something happening to me or me saying something that was really stupid.
Yeah, anything. Saying something stupid. That's a good category.
Yeah. I know I farted out loud in 6th grade one time, completely by accident, and I said, "Oops." And like everyone started laughing at me. In hindsight, that's really funny, but I was really super embarrassed.
That was me at 9th grade. I did that.
Yeah.
And everybody like turned and looked at me. They knew where the sound came from, and I was like looking around, but there was
it was obviously
really around.
you.
Yeah.
That was one that sticks in my head because I was very like, when you get that flush feeling in your body,
and you're so embarrassed.
You're getting red. You could feel it.
Yeah.
That was that moment for me. I know that. Saying something stupid,
There was one time. This was like I just started working at a restaurant. And there was this girl that came in, and like I knew who she was, and kind of been longing for her from afar, sorta. You know what I mean? Real pretty girl. I was just always, I was always fast. I was just like, damn, she's like really pretty. And she came in, and it just so happened like I got her and 2 of her friends, and I'm all nervous and stuff. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, whoa, it's her. And so, at some point in the evening, a it's like I brought them their food and stuff, and like I said, I just started working there at the time, and two of her friends got drinks, right? And then she followed with, "Can I get a side of ricotta?" And I was like, "Yeah." I thought she said a cider ricotta because her two friends just got drinks.
So you thought a drink was a cider ricotta?
Yeah, so I thought it was some type of beer, like a cider, you know?
Yeah.
Can I get but she said side of ricotta.
Right.
And I was
Why
like,
the fuck she want a cider ricotta?
whatever, I don't know. She was eating something that she wanted ricotta with. But but so I was like, yeah, sure. So then I go up to like the bartender. I'm like, "Do we have cider ricotta beer?" And then she was just looked at me like I was an idiot and just saying like, I mean, ricotta is like a cheese. I don't think they make a cheese beer or something like that. And so I'm just so confused and rattled. And then I go back over to the table and I say, "Hey, yeah, I don't think we have that beer that you're looking for." And she was just looking at me like I had 12 heads. And she was just like, "No, like a side of ricotta." And I still don't know that that's cheese.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm just like, oh, side of, and then she said like a side of ricotta cheese. And I was just like, "Oh, yeah, for sure, whatever." And I was so embarrassed that I like I wasn't self-deprecating. I should have been self-deprecating about it and like making jokes about it, whatever.
Oh yeah, no, I'm an idiot. I'll go back and do that.
Yeah. Sorry, I just started working here. I'm learning my beers. I'm learning my cheeses, you know. And so, and I'm like I was embarrassed from that. And then her friends were like making fun of me the rest of the time.
That would have been a good segue to like,
it
hey,
absolutely would have been. Yeah.
Do you want to have sex with me? More or less. Dude, one thing did pop to mind of me saying something very stupid, and it is in a work-related environment. When I was doing sales, you'd have to do cold calls all the time. And I don't know if you ever had to do a cold call before, but bro, you just say shit off the top of your head that it just comes out like vomit sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I called this guy, and typically if they say, yeah, like touch base again in 6 months, it's like, oh yeah, I'll reach back out around then time. For whatever reason, like that guy said, yeah, like touch base in like 3 months. That's when we typically make the decisions in regards to like what you guys are selling. And the word that came out of my mouth was, oh yeah, I'll definitely give you a reach around. And he was like, well, don't do that. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, this guy thought I was going to give him a reach around hand job. And in my mind, I'm like, that's hilarious. But I was like, fuck, why did I say it like that? I'll give you a reach around. His response was, whoa, don't do that. And I was like, that's funny.
One time I was at and this isn't embarrassing for me. This is like, I put someone accidentally in this situation, but at the end of the day, she put herself in. She wasn't thinking. So it was this older lady that I knew. Her son died, right? And so I was going, and I saw someone there that I knew, like a kid.
At a funeral?
Yeah, it was at a wake. And I saw someone there that I knew, and he's my age.
Her son died, huh?
Yeah,
that sucks.
he would have been.
How?
Yeah, I don't know. Good question. But I see this kid I know, and I'm just like, oh shit, what's up, man? Like, you know, how do you know this person, or whatever? And he was like, you know, it was his dad that died, right?
Oh.
Right. So I'm going in line, and I'm just, oh dude, I'm so sorry, you know, whatever. You know, good to see you. Like, it sucks in the condition, but you know, I didn't know that you were related to this person. And the old lady who I knew was his grandmother.
Right.
And so I'm in line at the, you know, after you go to the casket and stuff, and his brother is right next to this lady I know, right? And I tell her,
Right next to the grandmother?
yeah. So as I'm talking to the grandmother, that kid who I knew, his brother is right there.
I got you,
and
yeah.
You know, his dad's dead and stuff. So, like, I'm saying to her, I'm like, hey, I didn't know that Nick was your grandson. That's crazy. I know him. And she said, oh, Nick, yeah, he's my favorite. Oh, and then she like looked at his brother and was, oh, you know, and she was trying to get out of like, oh, you know, they're both, you know, these two are both my favorite.
They're both my favorite.
And it was just a really uncomfortable situation because I was like, damn, this dude's dad just died. He's, you know, he's at his wake, and he just found out that he's not his grandmother's favorite.
Well, he's definitely second fiddle.
Yeah.
That
What up?
sucks.
What up, Joey?
That was one you definitely. That was a situation you created, but you didn't mean to.
Yeah, and it's like I didn't do anything. Like, she was the one that messed up with the way she, you know, she just wasn't thinking before she talked.
Right.
She was just like, yeah, he's my favorite. Oh, I mean,
It's not like his dad could help him talk his way out of that one either. You know what I mean? Because he's like laying in the casket. Dude, I learned how to drive a Standard in Italy.
oh yeah, what was that like?
Yeah, the automatic car to rent in Italy was $160 a day, and then the Standard was $42 a day. And realistically, only thing we needed that fucking car was to take us from Rome to Gaeta on the coast. It was going to sit in the parking lot at the resort in Gaeta for 4 days and then drive it back to Rome and drop it off. Like, that was all we fucking needed it for. And I'm like, I'm not spending 160 whatever dollars for that car to sit in the parking lot for 4 fucking days. So in my mind, as a male, I'm like, fuck it, I'll figure out a standard. Never driven one before. I'll YouTube that shit, which I did. I YouTubed it on the plane, like, was getting all the terms. You know, you got to find the bite point on the clutch and shit. So we get to the car rental place. Guy pulls up a Fiat Classic. I like wanted a Fiat almost, just a tiny little Italian car.
Big car brand over there.
Yeah, but the roads are so fucking tiny over there. It's insane. They make every other tiny road in Boston look huge.
Right.
It's insane. But he pulls up, whatever. We put our suitcases in. The suitcases barely fucking fit in this car. I get in the driver's seat, and Kat's all nervous, like, oh my God, like, are you going to be okay? Like, I was like, shut the fuck up, we'll be fine. Like, just let me drive, please, okay?
Let's figure this out.
I'm not going to kill us, all right? It's going to be really fucking dicey, but we're going to be fine. So, turn it on, put the clutch in, like, find the bite point. I pull out. I'm grinding the gears a little bit. We get out onto the road in Rome, get it into second gear somehow, all off YouTube. Our place of stay was probably 2 blocks away. We still had to load our bags before we went down the 2-hour drive to the coast. And I finally like edge into the parking spot. Not really a parking spot. I'm blocking this guy in, but I'm like, no way he needs to get out right now. We'll get our bags in time and be out. Sure as shit, guy needed to fucking get out right when I pulled in. So she goes to get the bags. I have to like reverse now. I don't know how to reverse. I YouTube it quick. You have to like lift up on the gear shift and then put it past 6th gear, and then it goes into reverse. So I figure that out. I edge out in reverse, and then I'm going down the street, and I'm thinking, I'm just going to pull over to the side of the road as close as I can to the cars that are parked so the traffic can pass me because it's a one-way. She'll bring the bags around, we'll load it, we'll continue on our fucking way. That was the plan.
Yeah.
I get too close to the fucking parked cars, and I'm like, shit. The people behind me, I'm waving them. Supposedly they can't fit, whatever. So now I have to reverse again. It's not going into reverse, and I'm getting really fucking close to the car in front of me now. And I'm thinking, holy shit, like, I'm going to get in an accident. I've just got this car. There's a lady trying to get past me. I'm blocking her merging onto this road. And she clearly sees I'm fucking frazzled right now. And she spoke English by the grace of God. She's like, do you need help? And I was like, kind of, more, like, I don't really know. And she's like, do you know what you're doing? And I'm like, not really. Clearly, I fucking don't.
That's the thing about over there compared to over here. Like, an American would just be like, fuck this guy. You know?
Yeah.
Just, hey, buddy, figure it out. But over there, they're more like, do you need assistance?
And I was like, oh, this is the exact situation. Oh, your mic's falling in a little bit to your shirt.
Oh, gotcha.
But this is the exact situation where I was trying to avoid, you know. I was thinking about the situation like, hey, don't have this happen. And it fucking happened. So she gets out of her car, gets into the rental. And she's like, you need to like lift up on the stick more, then do this. Goes into reverse, gets it out like where I can pull away now. So I'm like, all right.
So you're in the situation because you don't know how to drive a stick shift.
More or less, yeah.
Gotcha,
Like I really don't know like the clutch. I'm getting kind of nervous now. There's a fucking line of cars. Like, I'm being that asshole tourist, just fucking up everyone's day.
Yeah.
You know, I'm being that old person, fucking bottleneck in full circle. Like, fuck me. And I figured out, Kat's just watching. Like, holy shit, he's going to kill us when I get in that car. So I don't have my phone. She has my phone. I don't have the fucking GPS. So I'm like, people are beat. So now I have to just like go down the street. And I'm like, I don't even know where I'm going. So then I'm like, wait, I just have to do it around the block. So I'm finally figuring out, go around the block. Like, she gets in. And it's just mad hard when you're in traffic, going in from neutral to like first gear. Then you're stopping. Then you like have to creep up a little bit at a light. And it's just like, you're like jerking back and forth like this. And I eventually like figured out it was fine, like learn how to drive a stick, but holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
An experience for sure. I wouldn't suggest learning in like a foreign country.
Right. Maybe in like a cemetery around here.
Yeah, but definitely don't learn on a car you care about because you're going to grind the fuck out of those gears and stall out. Like I stalled out probably 3 times.
I don't even know what stalled out means. Does that mean you stop?
It means like you either press the brake and you have to press the clutch and the brake at the same time, every time. Because like the gearbox is running, and if you don't press the clutch in, it just fucking completely stalls out. The car just shuts off. And also, if you're in first or second gear, trying to go into first, it mostly happens when you're trying to go from neutral to first, and like you push the clutch in and let it up too fast and press the gas, it just fucking stalls out. You have to start the car again and shit. But it was a fucking trip, dude. But honestly, now I know how to drive a Standard, so it's kind of worked out.
Yeah, it was an experience.
But it really was an experience.
So how was the food and stuff?
Food fucked.
Yeah, right.
But I found out like all the pasta
What's up, Joey? How we doing?
over there. They use heirloom wheat and we don't. So basically, what America does to feed all the fat people is we change like the wheat structure of like the crops just so they can grow like 10x more crops. So there's like way more gluten, way more chemicals and shit in the food, so our body can't break it down. So that's why when we eat pasta, we feel like shit, and our portions are also huge.
Right.
They have smaller portions, and their wheat is called heirloom wheat.
It's more fresh or
it's
whatever.
It's more fresh. It's more natural.
Did you see any fat people? When I went to Italy, I saw one person that was, I guess, fat, but they were more big boned.
Dad bods more so than like fat. Not a lot of
fat.
fat.
I thought in with the whole food thing, like you were just saying, I noticed like when I was there that just nobody was fat. Everyone was skinny. I saw, I was there for 3 weeks. I saw 3 people jogging the whole time. It's funny
not many people doing fitness.
Yeah, because they're not getting fat, so there's no like inspiration to do it.
They're more so like not. They don't look like they're like really muscle toned, but they're not fat. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of just like I said, like dad bod-ish.
The wine over there is fantastic.
Wine does fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, we brought back a couple bottles. It was awesome though. Like the food was very, like you said, the food was very good. Like I definitely can't complain on that sense. Every time, I mean, you could have pasta every night and not feel like shit in the morning. Really.
Now that you say the graffiti thing, well, you didn't just say it.
Well,
now,
before we got on, but a lot of graffiti in Rome, a ton. Dude.
A lot of in Milan too. Now that I think about it,
yeah,
there was a lot of graffiti over there, and
it kind of adds a style to the city, though. Like if you had an older person's perspective, like more conservative, you'd be like, "Oh, this looks terrible." Like, clean the city up.
I love graffiti. I think graffiti, if it looks cool, every city should have it.
It adds definitely a little bit of
character.
It does. Yeah, that's a good word.
It's like an old house that's designed like an old house.
Dude, speaking of old houses, that's like all there is. That's all there is there, though. It's all crazy old fucking concrete buildings, cobblestone streets. It really is something.
When I was in Milan, I kind of noticed it. I got Beacon Hill vibes or Beacon Street vibes.
Yes, times 100 because like the entire city's like that.
Yeah, and like rent over there was only $400.
Yeah, I did see that. There was this place.
It's really cheap to live there.
Yeah, there was places that were being advertised like, oh, like €450 a month.
What'd you do about coffee? I was drinking cappuccinos like it was my job.
Yeah,
and
I like it. Like I like the taste of coffee. I genuinely do. Like some people just do it for the effect. I enjoy the taste of it. Espressos were good, but they're just too fucking tiny. Like I could drink 9 espressos. That's probably the American in me.
Yeah.
But I would do mostly cappuccinos or like an Americano with like a little bit of milk.
I did the cappuccinos because it was mainly just as close as I could get to a cup of coffee. And it also, cappuccinos over there geek you out hard.
Do you notice that?
Yeah, I mean, I would have one, I would take an Adderall and have one and be like shooting lasers out of my eyes. And then there was a couple.
That was definitely the Adderall too, though.
Yeah, right, 100%. And then there were some days I drank 2. And I was alarmed. Thought like, hey, we might need to.
People are drinking 2 or 3 over there a day because also a big thing over there is where you're not going to Dunks, getting a drive-through coffee and like bouncing and going about your day. Like you're going to this cafe, you're sitting down, you're having like a little fucking pastry, you're smoking a cigarette. It's very elongated process.
A lot of cigarettes over there.
Oh, a ton. They were smoking them in the soccer stadium when I was at.
Cigarettes.
Like just ripping butts everywhere, yeah. But it's a very like, I don't even know what you would call it. Like even dinner is the same way. It's fucking like a 2-hour process, dude. You're not going in and out. You're going there. You're enjoying the scenery. You're having a cigarette. You're enjoying your bottle of wine.
Yeah.
You're enjoying your dessert. You're enjoying the conversations of each other. It's a very like long process in like their culture, like just sitting down in general. Like you don't really have a takeaway window. They call it takeaway over there, not like can I get a fucking coffee to go? Yeah, it's like oh takeaway, you'll sit down, blah blah blah. But not many like iced coffee over there either.
No,
like,
I
at
didn't
touristy
see any.
spots they have it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it was like €7 for a take, like because they know Americans will pay basically.
Yeah, 100%. I remember there was this breakfast spot I went to consistently, and the guy didn't speak any English, but he was like the best dude. and we somehow made that work. You know, we were like friends, but we didn't speak the same language. And there was basically no menu, and it was just whatever he was making that day.
Right.
You could have his food, but it wasn't like, oh, can I get a chicken parm, like omelet, whatever the case may be.
Whatever.
But I thought that was interesting. It's definitely a different vibe over there.
Yeah, it is.
100%.
Did you have a lot of pastries over there and shit? Like, I noticed like Danishes and croissants.
I ate a lot of pasta and pizza, and occasionally a steak.
Yeah.
But I went to the same...
I'm kind of with you. I ate a lot of pasta, occasionally like a steak.
I went to the same places every single day, like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and got the same thing to the point that they knew what I wanted when I came in and stuff. But it was also funny trying to... the first times, because they didn't speak English where I was going, but I was,
So you weren't in a touristy place at all in Milan then?
No, I wasn't.
Because that's when you know. Because the place that we went, the first place, in like the coastal town, Gaeta, like, unless there was reception at the hotel... No one spoke English, really. Like,
I remember having to like Google what I was
Google
like
Translate
looking,
and shit.
I was like Googling pictures of what I wanted, and then it was like, oh, okay, yeah, we can make that. Definitely, the restaurants over there are cool because they're all like smaller.
Yes.
And
smaller tables and shit. You're kind of like this a little bit.
Yeah, the person taking your order is also the person cooking your food in the back. Or they have their 14-year-old son doing it, taking your order while they're cooking in the back, family run.
All the like wine too, it's like house wine, probably made yesterday by them, the family. Yeah. And it's, dude, we got a meal. This is when you know you're not in a touristy town in Italy. We got a bottle of wine, I got a full pasta entree, she got a full pasta entree, and we got like a small appetizer. It was €32, bro. Mm-hmm. €32.
Where I was really cheap too.
I thought they forgot something.
Yeah, I would get like a fillet and have 4 or 5 beers, and it would be literally like you just said, like €30, which would be like, I don't know, $34.
Because a beer's like €3 sometimes.
Where I was, I remember a lot of places it was like €1.
Wow.
Yeah, drank a lot of Peronis.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of fucking Peronis. I realized
yeah.
They're okay. Honestly, when you're over there, you kind of just drink what it is, you know what I'm saying?
They have Coronas too.
You don't complain. Yeah, a lot of Coronas is popular over there.
And they use lemon with the Corona, at least in my experience. You'd get a Corona with a lemon instead of a lime.
Huh.
Yeah.
I bet it was pretty good though.
Yeah, I'd rather a lime, but it's okay,
Yeah, I don't know. It's like yellow on yellow. Like the lime. I mean the lemon with like the yellowy Corona.
Yeah, I'm just used to the lime. It just aesthetically doesn't look...
Right.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's the green and the yellow, dude. It's the colors too. But in overall, solid experience. To be honest, though, I think the perfect amount of time to go away is 10 days. Like for a long, if it's like your long vacation, you've been going to Europe or you're going somewhere, whether it's your honeymoon like it was for me, it's like a family vacation where everyone's taking time off work together. 10 days is the sweet spot. Anything longer, it's like, all right, like I'm kind of ready to get back into my routine now.
Yeah, I'm ready to take a shower. Like where I, in my own shower, I want to see my dog.
Dude, my fucking skin over there too. Like, I don't know if it was, I guess Kat's sister was saying it's the same in California too, in like San Diego. The water that comes out, it's like harsher. So I was noticing like a weekend, I'm like, fuck, my skin's really dry. And like Kat's skin was getting really dry. And it was because I was showering twice a day. The water was just extremely rough on your skin. Even the air may be different too, but it was just fucking with my skin hard. And then once you get back here, the water's like less harsh. There's a thing you can put over your shower spigot that like makes it less harsh, I guess. Like that's what Kat's sister does in San Diego, but I didn't even know that was a thing. Did you ever know that was a thing?
No, not at all.
Yeah, like you like feel it. It's weird. I don't know what the difference is scientifically on that. I just know it like fucked with me a little bit.
Yeah, and when I went over there too, I remember I just got a gum graft, which is when they take some of the roof off of your mouth and they sew it onto the part of your gum that's receding. And you can't brush your teeth for like a month.
So what do you have to do? Just rinse?
You get prescribed mouthwash, which I think is a funny thing to get prescribed, which is like, why?
Why is it different chemicals in it?
I would assume that it's just...
So you couldn't brush your teeth for a month?
Yeah. I'd use this like intense mouthwash that was very...
Could you floss? Oh, probably not, right?
Not that spot. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was brutal, but...
Why did you need a gum graft? For dipping?
There's like... All right, so my gums are receding on the corners of the top and the bottom.
Because you're brushing too hard, probably.
So the top is definitely from brushing too hard. I scrub my teeth with a manual toothbrush. I mean, I have an electric one now, but and then down here, I'm willing to bet that dipping had something to do with it.
Yeah. Well, you got good teeth.
Thanks. Yeah, I try to take care of them. I don't dip anymore. I zen, like it's my job.
Yeah, that's the sixes.
Yeah,
I'm definitely not having one.
No? I'm
No.
about to throw
The
in another.
threes buzzed the fuck out of me last time. I kind of did like the feeling though. Like the burning sensation goes away after like 3 minutes.
That's fantastic.
Those astronauts, I guess, there's only 2 of them that are stuck there. It's a man and a woman.
Yeah, so there's 2
But
astronauts.
she's from like Needham.
No shit.
She's from like Natick and Needham or something like that.
So there's astronauts stuck in space right now, and they've been stuck in space for how long?
They were supposed to come home like months ago. Months. And now they're not going to come back till like February. But they have like extra food and shit. But supposedly Elon Musk is on the case now.
Yeah, I see stuff about SpaceX.
Yeah, so
right here.
SpaceX launched a rescue mission type thing. That rescue mission just docked at the International Space Station like a couple days ago.
What does that mean, the International Space Station?
So there's a space station that's basically up in space that just is stationary, or I'm assuming it moves, obviously, rotates with the Earth and
like
shit.
a building?
More or less, like a spaceship that's just up there stationary.
How do you even get that up there?
You know, people a lot smarter than you and I are on that case.
We look like chimpanzees compared to those types of people.
Yeah, but they also probably would like fucking get hammered off like half a Bud Light. So it's like, who's the real winner in that situation?
2 U.S. astronauts stranded in space for 8 months have said it was hard to watch their malfunctioning craft depart the International Space Station without them, but they were happy and trained to expect the unexpected. They weren't happy, and they were trained, but they weren't happy about that. I don't know why this is saying that they were like pumped.
That's someone just writing an article. But yeah, no, I mean, dude, thank God they had enough food. So basically, I guess they account for all this shit where, hey, what's like the worst case scenario? Here's like enough food to account for that. They're in the worst case scenario. So they're probably rationing like the shittiest type of food up there.
Uh-huh.
And it's a man and a woman, so like, I mean, she's not that attractive, but let me tell you, if I'm up there for a year and a half and we're stuck, I'm getting fucking frisky with her.
Yeah, I feel that.
If she didn't want to, I would really try to convince her. Not physically.
You know how when you look something up on Google, it gives you a bunch of questions that you can press the arrow and just get the answer to?
Yes, like the chevron?
Yeah, that's like similar to what you just said. There's one here, it says, have any astronauts floated away in space? And then no one has. It says, thankfully, an astronaut, you know, it basically says no one's ever done that. But could you imagine if that happened?
That would be
fucked. You
fucked.
know when you're working on something outside of the spacecraft up there?
Well, dude, I was going to type in if astronauts had sex in space. It was the first one that popped up.
Yeah.
The first one. That's fucked. I typed in have astronauts had sex in space is the first one, been to Mars, died in space, walked on Mars, been lost in space, been out of the planets, and the last one had intercourse in space. Classic. No, there's no evidence that astronauts have had sex in space. Yeah, okay. That's a fucking lie, dude. Some say that sex in space is unlikely because astronauts are professionals with many other responsibilities, such as completing experiments. Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like, you have...
In fact, if I was an astronaut, right, I'd want to be the first person to have sex in space.
More, yeah.
That's a flex.
Like, that's a flex on the Mile High Club.
Yeah.
Like, you're in, like, the fucking...
Or I know when you get up there as an astronaut, you're working and stuff, but I'd bring alcohol if I could.
Yeah, who knows what the effect on the body that would have up there.
Yeah, no. It actually probably, because you get drunker on a plane.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
I don't know how true that is.
Me neither.
Google it.
Do you get drunker on a plane?
Is it really true that you get more...
Well, when we were...
Because they always say 2 in the sky is 1 on the ground, or 1 on the sky is 2 on the ground.
Well, when we stayed in Yellowstone, right, we were up like 8,000 feet,
yeah.
And I thought I was getting drunker easier when we were drinking.
You think?
I thought so. I mean, it could have been placebo effect or something, but do you get drunker?
Because, like, I mean, you feel the altitude in terms of, like, your ears popping, but the fucking cabin's depressurized.
Well, some say that drinking at higher altitudes can make you feel drunker faster. More recent studies suggest that altitude doesn't affect the body's processing of alcohol differently than it does at sea level. Huh. So essentially it's a myth.
Yeah. I've definitely gotten fucked up on a plane.
Oh yeah, me too.
But
It's like my favorite place to get fucked up.
I'm coming back around on that one. Then I really don't like to because it depends. Depends on what time you're landing, what you're doing when you're landing.
If you ate an edible before it, because I always eat edibles before I go on a plane, and that combo, if you're really drunk and really high, you know when you get the spins or whatever, like, I would hate that on a plane.
Oh my god,
that'd be brutal.
Be the worst, dude. Like getting
you can't even go outside for fresh air.
Put it this way, like my bachelor party, I think we took off relatively early. I think we flew out at like 7 in the morning. Then we had a layover in Carolina and then fucking flew to Arizona or whatever.
Did we have a layover in Carolina?
North Carolina, yeah. It was in Raleigh. But we were sitting at the airport in the morning having like breakfast.
Leaving Arizona?
No, coming from Boston, we had a layover. I didn't have a layover coming home.
That wasn't in Carolina though. I thought that was in Philly or something.
Was it in Philly?
Yeah.
Might have been.
Yeah, it was
Might have been Philly. Okay, yeah.
Remember that lady?
Yes, you're right. Yeah, it was Philly. I don't know why I thought it was Carolina. But, like, it's like an exciting event. Like, we're about to party basically for 3 or 4 days straight with like a bunch of good group of dudes.
Yeah, great group.
We have fun activities planned. So it's like, you know what? It's 9, 10 in the morning. I'm having a fucking beer.
Right.
I'll have a beer on the airplane. When we land, we'll probably be landing around like 12:30. So it's somewhat a respectable time to have somewhat of a buzz on the back of the party in my mind. And also, if you're going on like a trip and you're landing at night and then you're going out right after, you're kind of pre-gaming on the plane, you're drinking. But if you're just on a plane and you're just traveling for the sake of like doing something that's not that fun, I guess, and you're getting fucking hammered on a plane, you're landing at like 2 in the afternoon, and you don't have like many activities or fun things planned, it's like,
Right, because then you get there and you're just like drunk.
Like, what do we? Yeah, right.
You gotta rent a car. You gotta drive. You gotta. Yeah.
Exactly. That's my thought process. It's like, all right, well, what the fuck am I getting hammered here for? Like, what's the end goal? You know, where it's like, where's the fun coming out of that?
Well, for me, right?
You're sitting next to a fucking stranger.
Yeah.
You gotta get up to pee every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like,
So I've gotten drunk on a plane plenty of times, and I just fall asleep.
Yeah.
Something about a plane, I can just fall asleep.
I can too.
Yeah.
The flight from Italy was 9 fucking hours, and I couldn't sleep at all, dude.
When I came back from Italy, it was 9 hours too, and it was 4 seats in the row, and there was nobody else except for me. So it was like the poor man's first class. Oh. It was unreal. I could like lay down. I laid down and just like watch TV. There was TVs on the back.
That's unbelievable, dude. So you had a legit bed.
Yeah. Yep.
That couldn't be a better situation.
And there was you know how I told you about going there was 450 people on it?
Yeah.
So it was the same kind of plane, but there was probably like 100 people on it.
Like a third full.
And so I was looking at certain seats, and there were some people in the scenario I was in, but there was a lot of people that were just next to each other awkwardly with a bunch of empty seats next to them, but they're in their assigned seat.
Why didn't they just sit in the fucking empty?
I don't know.
That's weird. It's a long flight, though, coming back. 9 hours is a long flight. Dude, there's a direct flight from Boston to Hawaii. It's like 13 or 14 hours. I don't even know if I'd want that. Like, a direct flight's obviously the way to go, but I feel like if you're having that long of a flight to a destination, why not just hop, like, make 2 states out of it?
Go to California.
Right, go to, like, Seattle and, like, do a day or 2 there and, like, experience that. And then, because when the fuck are you going back to Seattle? Like, right. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, kill 2 birds with 1 stone in that sense.
Yep.
And break up the flights. Because it's still like a 6-hour flight from fucking Seattle, Hawaii or something.
Right.
Like, that's fucked. Like, that's how far away that shit is.
Yeah. And you're flying over water, like a lot of it, which is for half of it, and that's scary.
Yeah. I mean, for most of it, really. If you're flying from California to Hawaii, it's all over water. Like, but I mean, even Boston to like Italy and London, like, that's mostly over water and shit. Like, going over the Pacific Ocean.
We flew over the Swiss Alps.
Yeah, that's sick.
It was
I didn't know how close
dope.
Milan was to Switzerland. Milan's like north side of Italy. Switzerland's like right here.
Right. Yep. And dude, the Swiss Alps are wild. It made any other mountain you've ever seen in your life look like a single A mountain. You know what I mean by like single A, double A, triple A, the majors. Like, I don't know. It was just crazy.
Yeah, I'm actually super jealous you got to see that. Because, like, that's cool. I've seen the Grand Canyon, like, coming out. Oh, not Grand Canyon. What's the dam in Vegas? The Hoover Dam or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
And you see kind of, like, the big desert fields. And even the Hoover Dam looks, like, extremely small. But seeing, like, a mountain range like the Swiss Alps would be fucked.
These Zins have me like, for some reason, they're hitting me right now.
Bro, the threes hit me. I was borderline.
I shouldn't have put that second one in.
I felt like I had probably 4 beers quickly when I had that 3 milligram one. Why, you like feel like sick?
Yeah, it's gonna pass though. I deal with it every now and then.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
I know. I'm gonna put another one in like.
I have to
10
pee
minutes.
wicked bad.
Okay.
I just don't know why that's like a thing every fucking year, dude.
Apple picking?
Yes, like why is it a big deal for the females to go and get out picking? Because you know what? You want my fucking theory on that? It ain't about the apples. It ain't about fucking spending time with us. It's about us taking a fucking picture of them like this with like a fucking bag of apples in an apple orchard and them posting that picture on social media. That's what it's about. I don't know why it's a big deal for them. I don't know why it appeals to them so much, but they just like the sensation of like, fall, it's like here, it's fall, you know? I don't get that.
So you have to go apple picking today.
Yeah, like after we wrap this up, I'm going literally home. I'm probably going to take a shit, and I'm driving to an apple orchard. Which one did you go to? Do you remember?
Do you know which one you're going
I'm going
to?
to Ipswich.
It wasn't in Ipswich where I went. I don't know.
And then there's a fucking mad long line for cider donuts, and there's like an 11-year-old.
Cider donuts are fire.
They're so good,
They're
but
so
it's
delicious.
like the line's always mad long, and there's like an 11-year-old in there by himself making like one batch at a time, and I'm just like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
It's like my Sunday's just gone. But it's like, I'm having a great time, babe. I love you.
It's a very Caucasian couple thing to do, I feel like.
Yeah, super. I would say not many, yeah, I'll leave it at that. A lot of white people there fucking doing that. But honestly, like you said, you do get some fire apples, I will say. I made a fucking bomb apple pie last year with it.
It made me want to become like an apple connoisseur.
Yeah, because how many apples can you name? Different kinds.
I thought there was 3 different types before I went. I thought there was red, yellow, and green. I didn't know that there was like Macintosh,
Pink Lady, Gala.
I had no idea.
There's like one called I want to say Dragon something maybe.
Probably.
I think I'm making that up. But there's there's a lot. Fuji's an apple.
You know, there's like have you ever seen a cartoon or something like a character's eating an apple and then a worm comes out? I've never seen that in person.
There was like a big graphic in elementary school classrooms where it would be like a big apple and like a worm popping up like, oh, you want to learn?
Right. With glasses and
it's
hat
like,
or something.
Yeah, like why? I don't know why. I think rotten apples have worms in it.
Oh, okay.
Because they eat it. I don't know though.
Yeah, there's pesticides or something on them too before you wash them.
I've honestly eaten a fuck ton of apples and never washed them. But you're supposed to like rinse them good with like water.
I think there's something about it that there's something on it so that wildlife doesn't eat it.
Yeah, they spray glyphosate on it.
Sounds like a chemical that they'd use.
Yeah, it's in Roundup. And it's in like a lot of our digestive systems, which is like not good at all.
Right.
Yeah. So they spray like a lot of shit.
Makes you spray like a lot of shit.
No.
They spray.
No, like, dude, they did a study and 80% of like kids and adults and shit had glyphosate in their system, and glyphosate's in Roundup, and that's what farmers spray on their crops so like insects and shit stay off it. But it's also a very harmful chemical that like we shouldn't be ingesting, and it's in a lot of like vegetables, a lot of plant-related foods, and people who like think they're eating healthy a lot of times, it causes like a shit ton of inflammation in your system. It causes like fucks your digestive system like decently well, but people don't like. People might say, "Oh, I feel shitty," but it could be in relation to like the food you're eating, and like you think you're eating healthy, but it's like you're just riddled with all the glyphosate that's in your system. People have no idea.
Someone told me recently that if you're fucked up, like you've been drinking or whatever, and then you eat an apple, you shit yourself. Is that true? Have you ever heard that?
No.
I've never heard
Wait,
that either.
if you've been drinking and then you eat an apple, you feel like you want to shit yourself?
No, like I guess according to this person, you need to shit right after. It was an attractive girl that said it too.
Huh.
Which was interesting. But
so it's happened to her. So it means she shit.
I don't know.
I wonder why. It's, like I said, there's gonna be some digestive story behind that one. But maybe I'll try it today. Maybe I'll have a couple drinks and then eat an apple and see.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know how it goes.
All right. Fuck yeah. But if I make an apple pie, dude, I'll save you a slice.
Word, thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah.